In the heart of the city, I found myself entangled in a web of fear and dread, all stemming from the fateful decision to stay in the infamous Crestwood apartments. The building loomed like a forgotten relic, its windows dark and eyes vacant. I brushed off the warnings from friends about its sinister history, choosing instead to see it as a chance for a unique adventure. But as I was about to discover, some adventures should never be pursued. My first night at the Crestwood was eerie, to say the least. The air carried a heavy weight, as if the walls themselves were holding secrets. The wind whispered through cracks, creating ghostly melodies that resonated in the hallway. As I lay in bed, struggling to sleep, I heard faint footsteps echoing from the corridor, growing louder and closer until they suddenly stopped right outside my door. My heart raced as I held my breath, waiting for something to happen. But the silence was as deafening as the footsteps had been. I managed to convince myself that it was just my imagination running wild, and I eventually drifted into an uneasy sleep. But the days that followed were even more unsettling. Objects moved on their own. A chair shifted slightly, a door creaked open, a vase inexplicably shattered. I dismissed each incident, attributing them to drafts or my own clumsiness. But deep down I knew that something was off, something that defied logical explanation. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a chill ran down my spine. I felt an undeniable presence, as if I was being watched from the shadows. The unease grew into a paralyzing fear that kept me glued to the spot. I turned around slowly, and there, standing in the corner of the room, was a figure. It was a woman, her form translucent and ethereal. Her eyes bore into mine, and I could feel her sorrow radiating from her very being. She wore a flowing dress from another era, and her hair cascaded down her back in waves. She seemed to beckon to me, her pale hand outstretched as if pleading for something. My voice caught in my throat, and I stumbled back, my heart pounding against my ribcage. "Who are you?" I managed to croak, my voice barely audible. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. Instead, her voice echoed in my mind, a haunting whisper that sent shivers down my spine. "Help me." Terror gripped me, and I turned to flee the apartment, but the door slammed shut with a force that seemed almost supernatural. Panic surged through me as I tugged at the doorknob, my fingers slipping on the metal. It was as if the apartment itself was determined to keep me there with her. I turned back to the woman, her eyes imploring, and something inside me shifted. It was a mixture of compassion and curiosity, a feeling that compelled me to stay and uncover the truth. With cautious steps, I approached her, the air growing colder as I neared. Her gaze held mine, and as if guided by an invisible force, I reached out and touched her hand. Images flooded my mind, flashes of a life long gone. The woman, Isabella, had lived in this apartment decades ago. She had been in love, deeply and irrevocably, but her love was forbidden by society and her own family. They had locked her away in this very apartment, isolated and broken. Despair had consumed her until she had taken her own life. Isabella's spirit had remained trapped, her soul unable to find peace. She yearned to be reunited with her lost love, to escape the torment of her past. And somehow in that moment I knew that I was the key to her salvation. As days turned into nights, I became obsessed with unraveling Isabella's story. I scoured libraries and archives, searching for any trace of her existence. With every piece of information I uncovered, Isabella's presence in the apartment grew stronger. Objects moved more frequently, the whispers became clearer, and her image appeared in the corners of my vision. But as I delved deeper into the past, the apartment itself seemed to rebel against my quest. Shadows twisted and contorted, and the air crackled with an electric energy. I felt eyes on me at all times, unseen entities lurking just beyond my vision. The apartment had become a battleground between the world of the living and the world of the dead. Late one night, as I sat hunched over my research, a cold breeze swept through the room. I looked up, and there before me stood Isabella. Her form was more solid than before, as if she was growing stronger with each passing day. "Help me find him," she implored, her voice a ghostly echo. "Help me reunite with the man I love." Determined to grant Isabella the closure she so desperately sought, I embarked on a journey to locate her lost love's descendants. With their help, I pieced together the story of Isabella's forbidden romance and tragic end. Together, we held a séance in the apartment, a beacon of light in the darkness. As the séance concluded, the air seemed to hum with energy. Isabella's form flickered, her features becoming more defined, more alive. And then, with a soft sigh, she faded away, leaving behind an atmosphere of peace that I had never felt before. The apartment was no longer haunted, no longer a place of darkness and fear. Instead, it had become a sanctuary, a place where a restless soul had found redemption and release. And as I walked out of the Crestwood apartments for the last time, I couldn't help but feel a sense of bittersweet closure. The experience had changed me, teaching me that sometimes, even in the face of the unknown, compassion and courage can lead to the most unexpected of endings.